All right. Welcome, everyone, to the Thursday, July 17th edition of the Somerville Urban Forestry Committee. And pursuant to Chapter 2 of the Acts of 2025, this meeting will be held remotely. So we'll kick it off. I don't know if we have any. We'll kick it off with introductions and housekeeping. I know Vanessa's taking notes. Any other housekeeping before we get started? All right. So yeah, we'll start with committee member introductions, and we'll go by first name.
Can I get to go in opposite order for a second?
Please do.
Okay, because first name is David, and you haven't met him yet. I'm Vanessa Bukili. I'm the Senior Urban Forestry and Landscape Planner. So excited to be here. I also wanted to introduce our new tree warden, David.
Oh.
So he is here, part of the committee. He's 2 weeks in, so learning the ropes and doing an awesome job at it. I guess he can introduce himself now.
Awesome. Welcome. Yeah, feel free to introduce yourself. So great to have you here.
Yeah, I don't know if this is in order, but my name is David, and yeah, just started here as tree warden. Excited and happy to be here. I've been just a brief background, been an arborist, climbing arborist, production arborist, and for the last decade or so, and in the green industry for a very long time. Pivoting my position from away from the production side of things, and tree warden was available, and I applied and just kind of followed the trail down and met the team, and here I am. So a couple weeks in, really enjoying the work, really enjoying Somerville. I live in Watertown, my wife and I, and we've been here since 2018. Really enjoy the communities around here, especially Somerville, Watertown, Cambridge area, but really encouraged by what Somerville's up to with trees, with regreening, and the steps you all are taking to do that. I'm looking forward to learning. So thanks for having me.
Awesome. Thanks so much. Look forward to learning a lot more from you. All
Are
right,
we
should we
back
keep going?
in alphabetical order now?
Yeah, take it away, Doris.
Great. Awesome. Nice to meet you, David. Hello, everyone. My name is Doris. I am a arborist and tree enthusiast, and I am excited to be here today. I feel like we are in the full heat of summer, so I am struggling, and so are the trees probably. So it's a good day to be talking. And just a reminder, I do have to leave at 5:30 today. Thanks.
I think I'm up next. I'm Joelle. I'm relatively new. I think this is my third meeting. I'm a plant enthusiast, tree enthusiast, Miyawaki fan. I teach an urban tree canopy class at BU, and teach other stuff at BU as well. And happy to be here. Happy to see you all.
All right, I think I'm next. My name is Leah Grossman. I'm one of the co-chairs, and I'm a landscape architect by day and urban forest enthusiast by 24/7. So also excited to think about how we can support our trees, especially in harsh summer weather. And I think up next is Luca.
I am the phone. I'm the way this is my practice space. What I do is tonight.
And I don't know if having a little trouble hearing you. I don't know if you have your sound setting right, or just talk closer to the computer maybe.
Better.
Is that better?
Oh, that's much better. Yeah. Thank you.
Okay. Yeah, if you didn't catch it, this is my second meeting here. I didn't get to attend the entirety of last full meeting, so I'm looking forward to seeing what I missed and learning more.
I think I'm next. Hi, I'm Marion and I'm a member of the committee.
Hi, my name is Michael. I'm another committee member, parent, recent tree dad to a transplanted mulberry. Welcome to the next meeting.
I'm Tori Antonino. I'm an ecological landscaper and I'm a co-chair of the Urban Forestry Committee. And I'm really excited because I'm doing a big experiment in my yard. I had to take down our pussy willow tree and what we're doing is we're cutting it up into pieces and burying it with the hopes that it will resprout because it's really it can resprout pretty easy from like small branches. So it's a whole thing, but just doing a thing, and I will let everyone know if you can if you can make a pussy willow. We're doing a hedgerow, so it's like doing a pussy willow hedgerow, like with the trunks of the. It's so exciting. Nobody on Reddit has done it, so anyway.
Definitely share what you learn. All right, and I think that has everybody. So next, typically what we like to do in our meetings is open up our attendee, encourage our attendees to be panelists. So if you would like, you can share your video with us or unmute, and I think Vanessa can promote folks to do that. And the next part of our meeting is resident concerns. So anyone is welcome to speak up if you have anything that you're concerned about or excited about or have questions about. So we'll open up to residents first, and then we'll open it to committee member questions or concerns. You're also welcome just to unmute and say hello and let us know how you found the committee.
Hello, I can jump in.
Please
I'm
do.
Kelly Simpson. I'm a resident of Somerville and I'm friends with Allie. Oh shoot, I'm drawing a blank on her last name. Didn't know I was going to be on the spot. Bernard, yes. She and I work together at the Newton Tree Conservancy. So I'm a big advocator of trees, and my background is industrial design, but I love planting trees and just getting my hands dirty in the dirt. So just thank you for letting me join today and just learn what this committee is about.
Awesome, welcome.
Thank you.
Hi, everyone. I'm Suzanne Warner. I've met some of you, but I live in the Spring Hill neighborhood of Somerville. I am a landscape designer for an engineering firm in the city, and would love to be involved in like a subcommittee or kind of stay involved in the committee in some way. And just kind of help out wherever I can if there's a need for kind of more advocates for street trees and planting in the city. Thanks.
Definitely, there's always a need. Thanks for being here. All right, we can open it up to any other resident concerns from committee members or otherwise. All right, hearing none, we will
Just
charge. Yeah, go ahead.
point of order. Are we losing quorum when Doris leaves?
Nope.
Okay. Okay. Can I just ask, David, have you do you have any thoughts on this, like the experiment? Because I've very successfully grown pussy willows from basically just sticking twigs, in the ground, green ones. but I'm afraid to ask because I don't want my parade to be rained on. But have you had, do you have experience around pussy willows and resprouting, or have you ever buried we're not, it's like sections of the tree trunk. Or lie to me, just lie to me.
I'm not going to rain on your parade, but I don't have much information to give you. So I'm as excited about the experiment as you are. And you're going to be the baseline for what I know about resprouting trunks that are stuck in the ground. I know willows are very, they put a lot of energy into growth, and if anything can do it, it might be this. So
You are so kind, and we are thrilled to have you. And now we are at Tree Amigo status again, right? Okay, awesome.
I would say keep them watered in this weather,
Yes,
because I feel like they like to be wet.
yeah,
But I did a project where we planted like 2,500 live stakes of like willows and dogwoods mainly.
yeah, yeah.
And we had like a pretty good, I think I don't want to give a percentage, but some of them did well, which is great.
Okay,
So don't expect all of them to do well, but if you plant a lot of them, then should have a good success rate. So that's
okay. I
awesome.
can't wait to,
And then yeah, definitely share
Yeah.
photos
Okay.
as you go.
yeah, thanks.
All right. I realized I missed an item of our co-chair discussion, so we can go back to that before we move on to updates from the city. So I know we talked about, I missed last month's meeting, so I don't know if I know we had a discussion a few months ago about having rotating a new co-chair into the mix. And I know Kala, I think, volunteered for a part-time, but I think she only has one more meeting maybe, so that might not be the right fit. So were there any other developments last month?
I'm still tentatively interested in September. I just had a few things going on this summer, but didn't want to put too much on my plate.
I know Kala did offer to chair the August meeting, so maybe if no one else is jumping at the bit, we can have her do the August meeting and see if you're ready yet, Michael.
Cool. That should work out.
That sounds great. Thanks for volunteering, Michael. Yeah, I think you'd be a great co-chair. You showed a lot of interest and enthusiasm in your time on the committee. So do we feel like that's enough did we vote on this already, or this is something we could vote on now? Yeah.
If Michael's ready for that.
Yeah, let's make it administratively free.
Make it official.
Ooh.
All right. I guess I would make a motion to make Michael a co-chair as of September. Is that enough of a motion?
Sounds good to me. Second.
Great. Vanessa seconds, and then I'll go down a roll call vote of all the committee members. So, sorry, I might be out of order here. Oh, and David is now a voting member. All right. David,
Yay.
first meeting, get to vote on something. Very exciting. So when we do votes, I'll just go and do a roll call. So when I call your name, you can just say yay or nay. And so this is voting to enact Michael as a co-chair to succeed Tori as a co-chair starting in September. So if that sounds good to you, you can say yes or thumbs up.
yay.
Awesome. And Doris
Yay.
and Joelle
Yay.
and Marion
Yay.
and Luca
Yay.
and Michael, I think you get to say yay
Yay.
to yourself. And Tori
Yay.
And I didn't miss anyone. And
Thanks.
Vanessa.
Yay.
Awesome. Well, congrats, Michael. And yeah, a big thanks to Tori for your years of co-chair contributions. Everyone, it's great. Everyone brings different things to the role. So it's good to swap it out every now and then. Awesome. It's productive and efficient. So we can move next to updates
Can I
from the city.
actually just
Oh yes,
quick
please.
do I guess it's sort of housekeeping, but related. This is Dorothy's last meeting. She's stepping down. She couldn't
Oh,
make
no.
it tonight, so she wanted to send her thanks to the committee. And she learned an incredible amount and is grateful for everyone's thoughtfulness. She is still planning to help out with outreach and subcommittee. She just won't be an official member. The timing was getting challenging for her, so we will be filling her position soon, I believe.
Thanks for sharing that. Yeah, and I think we had also expressed that Dorothy's been a great help on the committee, getting us organized. So I'm glad she'll be able to continue to help out with outreach. All right, any other questions, comments on that? Or yeah, I guess I can turn it over to Vanessa for city tree removals and private tree removals.
Cool.
And I can pull up the spreadsheet if that's helpful, unless you already have it.
Let's wait on the spreadsheet first for
Great.
city tree removals. I think there may have been a few that happened between our last meeting and when David started, but I'm not totally sure. I did just briefly let David know that we like to inform you guys all about tree removal. So he put together a list to start with. All he's been doing and all that we've done before is like hazardous trees. So just dead and dying trees. If there's ever one that I didn't tell you about, I apologize, and just ask me and I'll tell you why we did it. We have pictures and records in our tree inventory for all of them now. So I will turn it over briefly to David if you want to talk about the trees you've put on the removal list so far.
Yes. So again, I started last week, so it's been about, well, so the trees so far in July, not sure how much information you want on them, but I'll just give you what I have. Discovered a silver maple today, with severe decay at the codominant union and base. It is hazardous and it's a mature tree, but unfortunately it is past the point of being a viable tree and safe for the public. If it were to fail, there would be no ground to stand on why we didn't do anything. There's an ailanthus along the community bike path behind 12 Alpine Street. About 75% of the canopy is dead and leaning, the tree leans out and over 12 Alpine. They actually requested to look at a dead branch. Turns out most of the tree is dead. We've got a little leaf linden on 49 Moore Street. It's got hazardous decay on both sides of the, it had breakouts of both sides of the tree. So now essentially there's just kind of a two-dimensional tree, how it's supporting itself. So compression wood supporting is the only thing supporting one of the large leaders leaning over 49 Moore Street, approved for removal. We have some small maples and we've got a tree in Perry Park. So we got 34 Glenwood, there's a small 3-inch maple. Thought I'd bring that up. Perry Park has a hazardous linden tree. About 90% of the canopy is heavy dieback. 90% of the canopy is dead. Very prominent tree. I think that's going to be high on the list to move up probably next week. redbud behind the skate park. I'm not sure the DBH on that, but pretty new planting. It's gonna go. It is fully dead. There's a red maple on 162 Summer Street. Maybe, and I don't have the DBH off the stats in front of me, but probably 8-inch. 80% of the canopy, I would say, has declined, and it's not coming back. So great for a replant. And we have a Norway maple on 70 Perkins Street. That I don't have the information in front of me, but it has been approved for removal. And that is what I have.
I'm remembering one more, David, but I don't know if it's on the list. The horizontal split on the Ed Leathers Park.
Oh, yes. That one is so there is a tree in Ed Leathers Park that is if it is not going to be removed tomorrow, it is going to be removed next week, as it is high priority hazardous. It's got a horizontal crack about 5 feet up, and it is, let's say, 3/4 of the way through the tree. It is a balsam poplar. Yeah, so that is the.
Great. Yeah, Tori, question? You're muted.
That's so the silver maple, where was that? Where did I miss that?
Yes, the silver maple is located. It's on 2 Kenwood Street,
Okay.
and I went over today to do an old street sign pruning clearance work order. And as I pruned away from the street sign, I realized all of these little sprouts were covering up this really big cavity. And so just a little more information on it. I was able to stand up on my truck and I can reach my arm all the way into the cavity. So it probably goes down 14 inches or so. And, you know, it's at the codominant part of the tree. It has been reduced recently over the last couple of years. The crown's been reduced, so it's not as imminent, but it is, yeah. So, but it's 2 Kenwood. If you want to look at it, more information on Tree Keeper, it's all up to date there. So, and I uploaded pictures to Tree Keeper as well. So,
Thank you so much. And I would be remiss if I did not channel Allie right now regarding the Tree of Heaven. So, Allie Bernard, our associate member, came up with an amazing instructions PDF on tackling Tree of Heaven, because I guess just chopping it down, even if it's mostly dead, is still perhaps not enough to kill it. So do you will there be a poison involved, or will it be a like slight murder or like complete murder? If I'm making myself clear.
yeah, I think your question, if I'm hearing you correctly, are there going to be any steps taken to try to keep this from renewing itself?
Yeah.
Not that I'm aware of. There is a stump right next to this tree, Atlantis, that is about 4 feet high, and the trunk is a large Atlantis tree that must have been removed some time ago. A lot of decay on it. I suspect a similar process will be done with this Atlantis. At this time, I do not know of any steps. I'm not inclined to use any poisons or anything, but maybe there's stuff I don't know about.
Well, I'd love to share. I'm trying to find Allie's document.
Vanessa just dropped it.
Yeah, amazing, our amazing Vanessa. Okay, thanks so much. And David, I really love the gestures you make, because like when you said codominant, I was like, oh, that's what codominant means. Like, it's very, no, seriously, it's very helpful. And please continue in your animated self. So thanks.
Yeah, I'd echo those concerns. I was actually on site today, and recently some Tree of Heaven were cut down as part of sort of site demo, and it is adjacent to a large grassy area, and the whole grassy area probably has a few hundred Tree of Heaven sprouts. So I will echo the concern, and I think late summer is what the handout says. If there was to be any pesticide or herbicide rather applied to the tree, so it might be the right timing. I think the idea is that if you get it at the right time of year and you put glyphosate on the cut, it will go down into the roots, and so it will prevent the tree from shooting out suckers and sending up new sprouts. So if there is interest or possibility in treating it in some way, I think that would, depending on what it's adjacent to, may help out the neighbors.
Well noted. I'm all in favor for whatever's approved by the city of Somerville. I certainly am aware of those practices for like poison ivy and different things, you know, just gently painting the tops of the cuts. So yeah, so I'll talk with Vanessa and we will be sure to enact whatever is best practices. So
Yeah, thanks for reminding us. I had thought of that. Also, I don't know, since it's 75% dead, I'm not sure how strong it is to make new babies, or if it would even be an effective use of the pesticide, because it's usually when it's more vigorous. So I think we'll have to think about it a little bit more for this
Yeah,
particular situation.
I'd actually be curious if it's adjacent to another stump that was cut in the past few years. Is there adjacent open space where you've seen any spread? Because that could also be an indicator. If there's not, maybe it is more dead.
I didn't notice any, I wasn't looking for it. You know, but I didn't notice any. It's right along the bike path, it's pretty heavily cleared, and then right as you push up towards that fence, is where you have some of this older mature growth.
Yeah.
This is where the ailanthus trees are located. I didn't notice a lot of sprouts coming up from that older stump, which was probably years ago that was cut due to judging by the decay on that old stump. And then this tree itself is I would say 15 to 18 dBH. So it's a mature tree as well. Certainly not a sprout from that old cut. I'll keep my eyes peeled.
Great, thanks. Any other questions on that, or should we move to private tree removals? And I see Malik hopped on here.
Convenient timing. I'm not sure if the spreadsheet is updated.
Okay.
The spreadsheet is not updated, but I can talk you through some of the cases here. So we are currently up to permit 26 for the year, which is about right because we're halfway through and we usually get about 50 or so. So there's been a lot of back and forth with a few members of the public, a lot of inquiries online in regards to how the process is. And then just a few little things I need for everything to be complete. So sewing it up from the back, I would start off with 65 Boston, which was the most recent one. They stated that at 65 is 7.6 inches, Norway maple. As it's an undersized and an invasive, all I would need is photo documentation. So I'm just drafting up some notes and I'm going to throw that through the portal and they don't really need a plan or anything like that, but since they submitted a permit, they'll get a permit. So that's all I'll do with that. I'll draft that language and send that along the citizen serve email. And so that should be pretty open and shut. Vinyl Street still being reviewed, and Bank Street, I believe there was a case in which they stated that the tree was in bad shape, but the photo documentation I received isn't quite good enough. And then they stated they also had waiver owner occupancy, and that's not true. So I'm just gonna ask for more photo documentation, more information, and if it is a declining tree, then they'll get that waiver and everything will be all hunky-dory. In regards for other cases, there's another case in which there was an inquiry for 139 Sycamore Street. It is two properties, 139 and 137 next to each other, and the neighbors want to buy the other house. They bought the other house, which is in hideous overgrowth, disrepair condition. And there is I believe there is a Norway spruce growing in between, and they said it was unhealthy, and it is quite healthy. So I need to tell them, unfortunately, you still need to go through this permit process, and will have a little more back and forth. And they'll go through the permit process, and I'll figure out exactly what the situation is based on the condition of the tree in proximity to everything else back there. Because I haven't gone back there, but I was able to see a pretty significant sized tree of healthy condition. So we'll go through that. And what else? I'm gonna keep going upwards. And please feel free to stop me if you have any more questions. Line Street, I believe we spoke about this last time, did we? Okay, so I'm gonna keep going up. Okay, so what, bear with me here. I have two laptops going. So da, 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 da. 159 Boston Street is still pending. It depends on what route they want to take in regards to oh yeah, 19 Minnesota has been issued, but 159 Boston Street, there needs to be a bit more information whether they will pay me $21,000 into the tree fund or replace 16 trees. So I need some plans. So I'm still waiting on plans from them. 62 Line Street is a case in which a significant amount of trees is getting removed. And I would say it's like 26 Norway maples, a couple, maybe a mulberry, a cherry, and two silver maples. The two silver maples are impacting the foundation to the point whereas there's no mitigation for their removals because they are growing into not only their foundation but their neighbors. So that's an issue. The rest of Norway maples, and they're all under 24 inches. It's just a forest of them. And the plan is to add another whole house to that parcel because it's a significantly large parcel. So they're going to be they sent me their updated plans this week, and I still am reviewing those, but they do plan on replanting. They they do plan on replanting predominantly. So as they have very little mitigation requirements, we will not retrieve the canopy loss, unfortunately, but this is the case in which we're getting rid of a lot more invasives. So there's that. I think that's the meat and potatoes of the situation there. Oh, yeah, you can see it from the street. It's a forest.
Wow.
Yep.
So yeah, I think in this scenario where we can't enforce anything, we would encourage you to send the recommended species list and hope that they reserve some space. And
Yeah.
then I don't know if there's any opportunity to plant a street tree. It is under wire, which is tricky,
Yeah,
but
it would only be a cherry, and that street is pretty narrow, Line Street. Um, it's interesting. Cambridge is right across the street.
mhm,
It's a very
it's
interesting
on the
area.
line.
And the homeowner did talk to me about proper species, and I will be sending along the species list. So
Great.
they want to replant the proper things. It's just an interesting case. Any problems, questions, concerns?
Yeah, I have a couple thoughts. So this is, could we go back to that picture?
Yep.
And this is part of my loathing for Norway maples, save for it's a forest, right? I get that. Look at the canopy there, like amazing. There's nothing growing under it. And it's like that whole area is, could be life, but sadly it isn't. So yeah, if they need advice on if they get stuck, like send them to the species selection and planting protocol committee, which is headed by myself and Leah. I'd spend 45 minutes if someone wanted to have a conversation about, I'm not going to draw a plan, but if they wanted support, if they like, I don't even know what to do. I mean, so they're putting another house on that lot. That's the
Yes.
thing, right? So
Yep.
we're,
And if you
another,
could see the silver towards the front corner, that is one of the silver maples that are being removed.
that big guy.
Yep.
So, okay. Are they owner? Is this waiver?
No, this isn't the waiver in this case would be condition based because it is in their foundation. It has no future there without impacting the property. And
Yeah.
then there's a similar scenario to the back where you could see the roots going all the way to their neighbors. Roots the size of my leg or larger.
Yeah.
No, it's very unfortunate.
Yeah.
But those trees have no future in that exact location. So unfortunately, hopefully.
Wow.
Yep.
That's impactful, that shot right there.
Sorry, I think I'm making it worse.
I'm
Well, it's the
But
reality of the
it's the
situation.
reality of the
It's real,
situation.
yeah.
But
Mhm.
as time goes on, and people understand the proper planting and plant things where they aren't in conflict with infrastructures, the situation will only exponentially get better over time. So that goes for tree plantings, that goes for private property plantings, and people just need the information, and I think we're all doing a great job of giving them the information. So it's a
Yeah, and
moment
actually,
of discomfort.
actually, also just looking at this view, I think our unicorn underwire street tree could be a great candidate for this tree because it will also, well, that was not a street tree. It was basically acting like one. And so it opens up opportunity, we'll say, to bring some more trees to this area for this street.
Yeah, we'll
Unless
have
the
to do competitive
sidewalk is
assessment.
less than 6 feet wide, then I can
Oh,
plant it.
that's
So that's unfortunate.
I'm not sure if it is, but if it is.
It
Yeah,
seems
so
that's probably why it's not there now.
yeah,
And
it's
one of
a
these,
pretty tight sidewalk.
yep, mini streets. Maybe, I know Cambridge, this might be a conversation for another time, but across the border in Cambridge, they are introducing a number of shared streets, like truly shared streets, where the sidewalk is no longer a sidewalk. People walk in the street, and it's low volume enough so that the street can be shared with pedestrians and bikes and cars. And so it opens up opportunity to plant the entire width of the existing sidewalk. Because then it, you
That
know,
is a
yeah.
very good idea. However, the
This is a
hospital
busy
is
street.
right there.
The what, sorry?
Cambridge Hospital is right there.
Oh, yeah.
So that
Not the
is
spot.
not the spot.
But conceptually, you know, in similar, oh yeah. Yep.
Is right up there,
Yep.
yeah.
Yeah. You have to find the right street, but thinking about you know, there are new things happening across the region, and the more we can think creatively in the right location.
It's actually a piece of Morrison was being considered for that, or something. Small street off Morrison. Because there's a lot of existing large trees that are making ADA compliance a challenge. So it's something that was discussed early in design. I'm not sure where it's landed, but
Well, if you need any
not a
precedent, feel free to reach out.
okay. Thanks. The other thing about this property is if they're building a new building, they will need a green score. So at least we'll get something green out of the property. It won't be the same canopy coverage. And that won't be the requirement, but hopefully they'll come up with something creative and lovely.
Great.
Maybe a green roof or at least a white roof. I was struck by the fact of that overview that there was literally nothing but impervious pavement literally everywhere with the exception of the trees. It's a little depressing to look at those kinds of aerial photographs sometimes.
All right. Any other trees we should discuss on this list?
I will say 65 Boston is me. And thank you, Malik, for the permit and working so fast on that. So my landlord and housemate, we're buddies. He didn't want to cut down the Norway maple because it might have been a hardship to pay the fine. But we are replanting. Now we are replanting with pussy willow. And then, so because it's a tree in our backyard, oh, it's a long story. I'll talk to you offline. But we're turning the pussy willow tree into a hedgerow. And the pussy willow came up to the third floor window. And I was thinking, you know, in terms of replacement, like, I don't know if someone could use pussy willow as caliper replacement, because I mean, for me, in where it's growing, it's a tree, but it's like also a shrub. It's not like a huge canopy tree. So we're placing caliper inches, hopefully, in this experiment. But then I just begged the question, like, does a understory tree count as replacement caliper for a tree? That was the question that sort of came up. One of the questions that came up in my head. That's for you, Malik. Or Vanessa. Or David. I would hope yes, but I just,
Well, can you say that last part again?
Yeah, so okay, so we're replanting caliper inch we had the pussy willow out front, out back comes up to my third story comes up to the third floor. So let's say it's 20 feet. But if someone, and I think we're going to get a lot of caliper replacement, but in this case where, it could be considered a shrub or a small tree, if somebody were like, and the question being, do understory trees, smaller trees count as caliper replacement? Like
Oh,
at what height? Like first, like a sassafras or?
in the zoning code, I believe that it is 10 feet high, about 2 inches DBH. So usually it would have to be a certain height and standard as per the landscape in the zoning language.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay,
So I could forward that information along in the chat too.
sure, yeah.
Also, you may grow pussy willow to be a tree tall, but most people probably don't. So we typically wouldn't give a species like that, allow that to count because
Yeah.
most people wouldn't be actually growing it as a tree. And we want to catch as many people as possible in our thing and not the one-offs. So like lots of arborvitae we don't count. It won't get big enough.
Okay,
Good.
well, if I need to plant more, Malik. Or like a sassafras, we can move on. I'm sorry, I'm just.
You don't need to plant any because it's under 8 inches.
And it's
Okay.
I would need is a photo documentation of the pussy willow that is not the pussy willow, the Norway maple that is under 8 inches. Oh
Yep.
wait, no, not even under 24 inches, and then you're all set.
Okay.
That's right, because Norway maple under 24, you're all set. All I need is a photo of it, and you'll pretty much be exempt.
Okay, okay. Well, we're replanting anyway.
Yep.
But
I
just
noticed.
not a tree. Okay, thank you.
All right. No worries.
All right. Any other trees to go through here? I think we went through the May ones already. And then it looked like, yeah, these are all also a little older. But Malik, you're muted if you.
Were you talking to me directly, or do you think I was saying something?
Oh
I
no,
know-
if there's other trees we want to go through on this
Oh,
list.
no, there's nothing I
We
could.
covered it.
Yeah, I think we covered it all, and
Awesome.
anything that hasn't been caught this month will be caught next month. Yep,
All right.
I'm adding those planting conditions to the chat now.
Great, thank you. And sorry, we should have done this at the beginning, but for newer folks, this is how we keep track of trees that are being removed in the city per the tree preservation ordinance, which I won't go through in its entirety now, but we basically take this time to update the committee on what's going on. And if your neighborhood group or anyone you know has questions, this is a moment to help to answer them by sharing this information more publicly. More, yeah, that wasn't really a sentence. All right, moving on.
Just my last question. Did we get a check from Homer Square yet? That silver maple?
They haven't even started building yet. Like everything hasn't even started yet.
So they don't owe us the money until.
Well, it's not feasible. It's not a viable way of doing things until they actually have their building in place.
They were replanting, not paying.
Oh, they were planting. That's right. Okay. Forgot. Yep.
All right, any questions or other updates from the city? Hearing none, we'll move on. So this section is our ongoing work updates. And we go through all of our various subcommittees, and I'll just reiterate that these are informal working groups. And if anyone is interested in joining them, feel free to chime in. So the first one is outreach. And again, I wasn't here last month. I don't know if Marion, you have any updates, but we also had Arbor Day, which was awesome. So that was a big accomplishment. So thanks to everyone who came out. We gave away a lot of little free plants. The mayor came and declared it Arbor Day. So that was very lovely. And we shared a lot of good information. So I think it was a great event. And yeah, does anyone else want to share any revelations about Arbor Day this year?
It seemed like a good location. We did have a pretty good turnout of people, some planning to come, but fair number of people also just coming by, going and coming from the library. So yeah, I guess that was a good decision on location, and maybe something we should continue to pay close attention to in future events, like exactly how do we anticipate the foot traffic and other factors being to draw a good crowd.
Definitely.
Non-Arbor Day related, I actually, before that, Arbor Day related, did anyone get any pictures? I got like one picture.
Yeah, I also got, I think I took one.
Okay. If you did, if you
Send them
find any
around.
pictures magically, please send them to me. It's nice to have on hand. We didn't get to, the one thing I didn't like about that location is that the trees that we planted were in the back, so we didn't even go visit them. It was too far from our table. But Malik and I mulched them and they're lovely. Non-Arbor Day related, I feel like we were going to talk about something outreach related last time and we didn't. Do you happen to remember around that time, Leah? You were working on organizing all the documents. I'm not sure we did a full report out on the new organization, if you want to do that here.
Yeah. I can give a quick update. Let me see if I can open the right document. And if anyone else remembers what we were going to talk about, feel free to chime in. I was also just looking at the next Summer Streets event, and it doesn't seem like they've posted the one that's usually in August yet. So I don't know what, like usually Strike Up the Bands is in the summer, but I'm only seeing Carnival on the website.
Huh.
So I don't know. Have you seen other info about that?
There's usually one around Halloween.
Yeah, definitely
The
Halloween.
third one? Oh.
And then yeah, in August.
Hmm.
June, August, October. But
Yeah, there's one on Highland in August. I thought, yeah.
yeah,
right?
The one with the, so yeah, 2014 or not 2014, 2024 was Strike Up the Bands, which is the Highland one. And I think we've done that one. Oh, I guess 2 years ago it was in September. But it seems odd that they haven't posted it yet. But either way, I can share. Yeah, so Dorothy and Marion and I had a great session where we organized all of our outreach documents. And so anyone on the committee is invited to come table, whether or not you're on outreach, for the various events we do throughout the year, usually farmers markets and the Summer Streets events, and then Arbor Day. And we organized all of the handouts to try and make it easier. Ooh, sorry, there's a lot happening. Try and make it easier for the folks who are tabling. And we did a sample table that I'm trying to find a photo of. I might have to send a photo later on. But the idea is that we have two main like tote bags with our materials, and we have a binder, and anything that you use, we have, I guess we made a few binders. So binder number 1 in bag number 1 is like everything that goes on the table. So it's really easy when you're tabling to say, this is the bag, take all the stuff out of this bag, and you put it on the table. And then we have some backup bags. And so we had a lot of old materials about, every type of invasive insect that we are trying to tackle. And the table is just becoming a little overwhelming with all of that information. And so we tried to distill it and really think about, why are people coming to us? What information do we want to share? And what can we possibly have in our back pocket if someone asks us a specific question or really wants to know more? But the majority of people may not be coming up with, wanting to know everything about emerald ash borer, for example. So we kind of made a backup resource binder so that if people do have questions, we can give them more information. But our main tabling binder is really focused on what are the key ways we can get people involved and not overwhelm them with too much information, but tell them what we do, tell them what our role is, and tell them how we can help engage them. So that's kind of a high level. And then we also have a binder and bag full of kid activities, which we can bring out when we have the space. Usually when we have a second table, the second table is for kid activities, and that's like various, coloring activities and leaf rubs and cool stuff like that. And then we have a binder just for Arbor Day. And so these are all of our Arbor Day poems and the Adopt a Tree certificates and the handouts about the plant giveaways. So those are, Vanessa can keep those in the office, and we can just bring those out when we need them. So we tried to streamline it a bit. So if anyone is going to be tabling this year, hopefully one of us who helped do the organization can be there just to get everyone kind of up to speed on the approach, and hopefully we can keep it a little more organized moving forward. So I can share more, some photos and just some more information on what we have. And if anyone is interested in joining, I think Dorothy said she'd be able to continue supporting the outreach group, which is great. But I think we can think about we started some really good conversations as well about creating a tabling pitch, sort of a one-pager about the things that we want to share with people when they come up to the table, just so we start to have kind of a unified, brand, if you will, but a unified message. So when people meet us out in the world, they start to understand what the Urban Forestry Committee does. And then we also talked about making one more document that would kind of be a synthesis, could be like the one thing we give to someone and it links them to many other resources. And so while we have some information on the Somerville Pollinator Action Plan, we could have one card that has information on how to get to our website, how to get to that website, how to get to, some of the other important pages that we often tell people about. So to be like, kind of just help guide them to the things that we're trying to guide them to. So that's a work in progress. And if anyone is interested in helping to develop that, help is always appreciated. So I kind of rambled, but yeah, I know Marion and Rob and others have been helping with outreach committee. So feel free to chime in if I missed anything or if anyone else has questions. And Tori, obviously, has helped a lot. And we do have a line for like interactive activities, of which I feel like we rely on Tori to bring something new and interesting to any given event.
We handed out a lot of Virginia creeper at
Yeah, and you brought some pussy willow
I
and
did.
red twig
Yeah.
dogwood.
Dogwood.
Live stakes, yeah.
Yep, yep.
All right. And then I think, yeah, last events, I think we usually try to do the Somerville Union Square Farmers Market once a summer, and sometimes we collaborate with another organization because those tables are usually in higher demand. So yeah, I can see if we can reach out to the market organizer this year. All right, any other questions or ideas We also got to release our new table runner at Arbor Day. So when we send around the photo, you can see that. I think it looks really good.
I want to echo what Michael said about the kids' activities. That like scavenger hunt, like was that Louisa or Vanessa? That was you?
I made it.
You made it. That was
I'm
awesome.
very proud of it.
I'm proud of it too. That was awesome. Just kids anyway, that's a really good activity. And
I did make it specific for that site, but I think a lot of the things we'll find multiple places. Just have
okay.
to switch out a few things. Like I took pictures of plants at West Branch Library for some of it, but the oak was in the back, Michael. That was the one we planted.
I was useless for that one.
Sorry.
And I just see Luca, there's a few people who would like to be added
Right.
to the outreach committee.
Right.
Oh, awesome.
We can't go above quorum, but
Now Dorothy won't count for quorum.
Yep. Which is great. Or not great, but great that we can bring in more people in.
Yeah.
Awesome. Yeah, I will add y'all to the list. Okay, and our next activity is the UFC our overview document. And I feel like this whole meeting is a test to see how fast I can pull things up.
You always do it so fast. So very impressive.
Can talk long enough to stall. Here we go. All right, so every meeting we spend a moment, and this was actually another Dorothy invention. We'll have to come up with a name for them. But Dorothy basically created this huge list of questions, and we take a moment during every meeting to answer one of them. So I'll make sure also that new folks get access to our Google Doc, or we have a Google Drive with a bunch of resources, and then all of these documents are linked in them. And because we have to abide by open meeting law, we only edit things live when we're in a group together, and otherwise all the documents are just view only. I think I said that right. All right, so where are we at? But new folks can, at your leisure, look through this. All right, this looks like an open question here. So the question is, how does the work of the committee change, if at all, by the seasons? Which I feel like is kind of relevant to outreach, at least, for the different activities we do in tabling. But this is also an open discussion, so if folks have ideas about how our work changes, I'll start typing about outreach.
I'd say a lot of our work is sort of keeping tabs on work that's going on with the city. So you guys help us disseminate information to everyone else. And that doesn't change, but we, for example, in the city get a whole lot more requests for tree work when there's leaves on the trees. So I don't know if you have felt that there's more to talk about in the growing season, but that's possible, although the overview of our work doesn't change seasonally in that part of the work. The other seasonal thing I'm thinking of is planting. So I do lots of reporting on planting, which is a spring fall activity.
Vanessa, is there, I'm thinking of watering being obviously a summer focused activity. I don't know what, if anything, the committee specifically does in that regard, but I don't know if that's worth mentioning as a summer sort of thing, especially maybe for people who get involved with the sort of tree adoption program. That's when we're looking for them to be of service and help primarily.
Yeah, that's true. They probably send out more emails during the summer.
Yeah.
Just a side note, I did get one from the Cambridge has like a monthly newsletter, but they also during the first, it was a few weeks ago when we had the first sort of heat wave, they did send a sort of a message asking people to get out and help their adopted tree. So I thought that was a really good idea. I mean, like everything else, it requires time and effort, but I thought it was a good policy or a good practice when doable.
Thankfully, I did that too. The first heat wave we had.
Hmm.
Maybe.
Yeah, I didn't do it this last one, but should probably schedule another one.
The other things I feel like that change, sort of just change based on projects, not on seasons. Just sort of depends what's going on, either from the city or from like development or what.
Okay. Also, if folks have questions related to this, feel free to bring them up. Great.
One quick thing I'd add is if like seasonally we're adding new members, like for the folks in the committee involved in that, it's kind of
Is-
like a committee specific thing.
I missed the beginning of what you said, sorry.
I'm sorry. The timeline of when folks join or roll off the committee, that can be a part of the work.
Great point. I'll say seasonal, but not season dependent. It's just a sporadic
Right,
event.
right.
So reading this question, I'm trying to figure out, is it how does the work of the committee change? Like question mark, or is it specifically, I mean, I think we can make the question whatever it is we want it to make, but is by the seasons a suggested change? Or because I was just thinking, you know, the work changes because through the with people who are here and what we're all interested in, you know, what we want to contribute to or take charge with, or you know, so it's very dependent on the individuals who make up the committee and then the work we do together.
That's a great point. I feel like that kind of captures it if I spell more correctly. Can probably wordsmith that a little nicer, but I think that captures the gist of it. Because yeah, that's a really good point. The initiatives that we bring to the group is totally dependent on who we have as part of the committee at that time and what their interests are. And that's ranged, I think, a lot from you know, folks being more interested in policy and more interested in getting new sort of memos written, and the other groups that people are involved with in the city and what their priorities are. And then, yeah, having moments where we do more planting activities and moments where we do more outreach. So it's a great point, Malik. Yeah.
It also is highly dependent on public sentiment as well.
Mm.
So we do have the resident concerns, and we do hear a lot of interesting perspectives and information.
Great. All right. If no one has anything to add to this, I think we can pat ourselves on the back. Oh yeah, Vanessa.
I just want to say, I just looked and I think we only have 5 more questions to answer, so we're going to be done with this someday.
Oh my gosh.
5 more
And then
meetings.
we'll go back and reread them and see how
Yeah.
we can adapt them, or go back and refresh our memory on what we're supposed to be doing here.
Yeah.
Leia, will you scroll down? I'm not in the document, but out
Oh,
of
yeah.
curiosity now, just in general.
Yeah, so I think the
Okay.
next group is resources, and then what are the obligations of a uncompensated city employee? So yeah, a lot of them in the committee operations and logistics. And this is actually a great document for new folks to go in and look at and get some of your questions answered. And then also, if there's questions that are not answered, we can add those to the list so that this can keep growing and evolving as we learn.
Yeah, do you know where I can find this doc?
Yeah, I will send it out to the new members.
Okay, thank you.
I think, can I drop it in the chat?
It's in view only mode. You can't.
Yeah.
Also, I'm remembering, Michael, weren't you like putting together summaries of members or something a while ago to
Oh yeah, new
the
member.
new members? That might be useful.
Yes. Yeah, it is probably potentially close to out of date now, but I will dig back into that.
Okay. Just if you
And
have any
probably I
available.
might email some of the newer folks as well, just to have a little bio for you as a heads up. Thanks for the reminder.
Sure. Which having you say that reminded me of another outreach thing real quick, if I can circle back. You guys had asked me about creating your own website. And so I reached out to people higher than me on the food chain, and the answer is it's not recommended, but we can definitely make changes to the website that we have. I am slow to make changes, but if someone wants to take charge of thinking of what to put in there and putting documents, it's easy to copy paste, even for the webmaster, relatively easy if someone else has a design in mind. But having it all link together and so that it can, link to our official documents is important. So I think there's still opportunity within the restriction of having it be the website that's linked to the city.
Great. That's a good reminder. Yeah, that's something else that we talked about in some recent outreach subcommittee meetings. And I think we talked about, if we kept it on the city website, just setting up almost calendar reminders and say, let's not go every time we have a new idea and have to run it up the chain, but let's say twice a year, let's update the website. And if we all have it kind of on our radar to get into a rhythm of it, we can think about, all right, what should we refresh? What should we add to the website? And then at those moments, we can do a few things at once instead of more one-off.
Sounds like a winter activity when things are slow.
Yeah, that's a great point. And update that on our list here.
I also did just update finally the members. So if you look
great
for a member, you will see your name there now, if you weren't on there before.
Thank you. Awesome. And then I'll just scroll through the rest of this. And yeah, I dropped a link in the chat so people should be able to view but not edit. We just have a few folks have editing abilities so that we keep with our quorum rules. Okay. Shift back here. Next subcommittee is species selection and planting protocol, which I think is kind of a low activity at the moment. But I think Tori and I are probably due for a meeting, but I don't think we have any like big pressing items. So I think this is an opportunity if someone has ideas. Typically, the species selection and planting protocol we developed. We kind of initiated the recommended species planting list for Somerville. So we put our heads together and thought about what's the most realistic, available, tough, hardy native plants we would recommend for people to plant. So that was sort of one of our big accomplishments there. So I think we need a new project to rally the heads behind, and would encourage anyone who has ideas to pipe in. And then I think similarly, most wanted weeds. Hopefully we can, I can reach out to Calla and see if she wants to have one more meeting before she heads off to college and try and hand off that project. But yeah, we're trying to make a updated poster of the most common prolific invasive plants and weeds that we're trying to remove. And so that was something we had as a poster for our outreach events. And so it's something I think once we get it wrapped up, we'll be able to have it again as a poster that we'll have out for outreach and have something we put it on the website. And we've actually also started are in communication with the city because I think they're working on a similar endeavor. And so I think it might be a moment we can either join forces or one group can take the lead on getting it sort of published.
Yeah.
And yeah.
Was that Meg? Did Meg reach out to you?
Yes.
Okay, great.
Yeah. So I'll follow up and see what the next steps are on that. All right. And I feel like this ongoing work update section has gotten smaller. So I think this is a moment where we need some more folks with ideas. And I've also am hearing myself talk too much. So I do want to open it up, give some space. If people have ideas or want to start a new subcommittee, or there's something that you've been thinking about, you want to spearhead. We have a little bit of time.
I have one question. Vanessa kindly shared, it might have been like an initial version of an updated tree inventory that might have involved LiDAR and sounded very exciting. LNA had been talking about ways to kind of bridge city outreach to the community around some of those biggest trees, or I'll get a lot around champion trees. And I probably won't get to that again, probably till like September, but I was curious, like Vanessa, is kind of still being finalized, like the updated, very cool inventory?
Yeah, great question. Frustratingly, yes. There's been like 5 different literally 3 different projects with Davie Resource Group going on at the same time, and they're all sort of time sensitive and dependent on one another. So I've been making lots of progress, but it's not done yet. Our next way to finalize is matching our old data to our new data. So let me back up for a second. Michael did a good explanation, but for new members, we have 3 different tree inventories. One was before I started in 2009. Then I did a new one the first few years I was here in 2018, and that was the basis of our urban forest management plan. We had a hard time with just keeping it up to date. So it got pretty out of date. So I got funding from the city council to do an updated tree inventory in 2024. 2024. Yep. So there's a new inventory system that is called Smart Inventory. So the idea is to do it with multiple views and through time. So instead of having a person walk all the streets of the city, it has a car drive all the streets of the city. And on the top of the car is sorry, I'm using my comb as a pointer. It has a LiDAR camera on the top and fancy digital cameras to take 360-degree information of the tree and multiple viewing angles of photos of each tree. So we had that done. We were one of the very first cities in the US to use this technology, which is awesome, except that we were one of the first cities, so we were finding all the problems. So we didn't actually see the data until the scans were done in July. We didn't even receive an inkling of data until like October, November, at which point a lot of challenges were uncovered. So they had more post-processing to do. We were promised that our new inventory would match up with our old inventory. But because the old inventory was done by hand and the new one is like definitely exactly where the tree is versus a person doing their best in the field, it doesn't always match up. So there were challenges there. And at the same time, we're also integrating our 311 constituent services requests in the map, in the inventory system. So there's just a lot of moving pieces. So getting back to Michael's original question, I'm so close. I just need to keep carving out chunks of time for me to do work right now. I'm checking match information from our old inventory to our current inventory so that I can pull some of the data that we need from the old inventory into the new one. And then there will be a field checking component for a smaller subset of trees for DV resource arborists to go. So in the meantime, we're doing our best to keep the inventory up to date, even though it's not live and public. It won't be perfect, but once everything is all set, I'm already teaching David how to do stuff in Treekeeper, and he'll move from our old inventory to our new one. And hopefully we won't get so behind like we did last time, between the two times. That's the very long answer to your question.
It's exciting and satisfying. It's so difficult. It is
Yeah.
so cool that we're on the cutting edge of it.
Yeah, I think it'll be cool. And I sent you data because I figured, well, this is still the newest, best data we have. We're just updating fields that you probably don't care about. So should be pretty good.
I have a question.
Yeah.
Would you be more interested in new members joining existing subcommittees or trying to start a new one? Like, what's the bigger need or priority?
That's a great question. So I think the active groups I think outreach is a sort of staple group, and I think we have a pretty good bunch of folks working on that at the moment. I think the species selection and planting protocol, I think if it as it continues, I think Tori and I are it's a back burner committee at the moment. So if someone has a project that could fit within that, I think we'd be happy to help with it. But I think it needs an idea. And we had maybe a few years ago, we had like a summit where we thought of a bunch of ideas of projects, so I could uncover that. And then I think Most Wanted Weeds was also a sort of standalone project subcommittee. We've also had Adopt a Tree as a subcommittee, and that's kind of going through an evolution with this new software. I think it's going to look a little bit different in the future. So I think to really answer your question, the committee is really about celebrating and learning from everyone on the committee. And so if you have a project or a passion or an interest, I think this is a space to really let that shine. And I know recently we've also sort of published the Tree of Heaven document, and Allie's spearheaded a few other initiatives. And so, yeah, I think there's no set, I think subcommittees are a evolving thing. And I think if, yeah, it's really open to what we're interested in and what we think is the most important thing for the committee to be doing. And so, yeah, with that being said, I would encourage new folks to scan through the document that I shared earlier and sort of see what has been done and what some of the committee goals are and some of the visions. But I think the role of the subcommittee is to accomplish sort of mini projects or spearhead new ideas. But yeah, great question. And I think, yeah, if there are ways that can make it more, it usually involves more time outside of our busy schedule. So it's also very flexible. And I think the point of the subcommittee is that it helps keep us accountable. And when you have more than one person, you'll be like, oh yeah, let's schedule a meeting, let's get together. And I'll also say that to do the outreach inventory, we got together at Dorothy's house, and it was really wonderful to meet together in person. And it makes it less computer time and more human connection time. So that's also a nice thing, especially in the summer too. Get out and meet in parks. Yeah. And don't hesitate to reach out and ask questions off meeting cycle. If you have an idea, feel free to send it around. We do have to comply with open meetings, so you can't send an email to the whole group, but feel free to email me or email Tori as our outgoing co-chair and Michael as our incoming co-chair, and we can help sort of get you the right person. But committee members are encouraged to communicate with each other outside of meetings in smaller groups. So don't feel like you need to wait for a meeting to bring something up.
I just wanted to chime in real quick. I think that's an awesome point about finding ways for people to be in person. I think that is really cool. And at least from my perspective, it has been, and powerful. And yeah, any ideas where we could do more of that would be wonderful. And I want to just throw out there, I don't know if I can make it now because a conflict has possibly come up for me, but there is a tree walk tomorrow. In case nobody saw this or mentioned it, at the Somerville Community Growing Center. And that's like, I was really excited about that. It's someone's going to walk through the neighborhoods and talk about urban trees. And I don't know, maybe that's an idea out there as part of the outreach committee too, or something, because I've done that once or twice and it's really fun to walk and geek out a little bit with someone who knows more about trees than you do when you're trying to learn. So
That's a great point. I saw that email as well. I think I zoomed into the right thing. So yeah, Emily Wang is going to walk around the center in the neighborhood to talk about trees. And it's tomorrow evening at 6 p.m. Thanks for bringing that up. All right. So I think with no other, yeah, is there any other ongoing work that folks are thinking about? If not, we can move on to the next part of our meeting. We just flash up related job postings for the city so that we can share them with our networks and get great new people into these positions. So let me pull that up as well. And I know we did talk about the horticulture slot like two times ago.
There was the horticulturalist and then a request for general landscaping services. And the RFP for the general landscaping services went to Always Green. And horticulturalist went to people, I forget their name.
Oh, was it? Oh, Vanessa, you're muted.
I was trying to mouth it 'cause I couldn't find my unmute button. Essex won the horticulture.
Oh, Essex horticulture.
Yeah.
Right. I forgot about that. Awesome. So those two are filled and that's a year-long contract?
I don't know about the Always Green one, but the horticulture is 3 years.
Oh, great. And I think that's one that we've had opportunities to review their plans and reports. Is that something that we can roll into our schedule here as well? Because I know that was really helpful to see what they were, what parks they're working on, what they're planning to do, and then what they did.
I should be able to give you something. I don't see them regularly, so I'll have to ask to know what the deal is, but I can at least give you some information about what they have been asked to do, and they're doing a good job. So it should be, yes, we can roll it in.
Awesome. I just did a scan of the career page, Tori. I don't know if you had a chance to do that earlier. I don't think I see anything that is super relevant. I'll do a quick.
Yeah, I was gonna say DPW per usual. Also shout out to anyone, crossing guards, not necessarily related, but just safety and important. And I
Large
didn't see any
infrastructure.
RFPs that
Okay.
and RFPs are requests for proposals. When we need a certain project done that's perhaps out of scope or we don't have enough staff to do it. We put out an RFP and so we review them. Like there was an RFP put out for a consultant to work on the pollinator action plan. And we got a very, very good one and have a really awesome plan. So, but I saw something about the Winter Hill School. Okay. Yeah, and to look up what RFPs are open, you can just write Somerville RFP. And we just try to keep our eyes on them in case we have any connections. Someone might know someone in the horticultural industry or, just letting folks know if there's green requests for proposals out that we might have people who would be interested in it.
Cool. All right. Covered that. And then, yeah, I think if there's no other items, we might be able to end a little early tonight. And so yeah, any other last sort of things people want to discuss or bring up, or I would also solicit ideas for future. This was a pretty light meeting. Sometimes we have folks come and give presentations on upcoming projects, or we have bigger things to review. I think to the question we reviewed today, I feel like summer is generally a bit of a lighter time because people are out and about and planting things and observing the world, which is wonderful. But if there's any sort of bigger questions or agenda items that folks want to cover next time, it also is a moment where we have a few new folks. And so if there's anything we want to do a little bit of a deeper dive on, or sort of burning questions you might have. We can spend a little bit more time on that at the next meeting, or we can have little sort of new folks intro at a different time as well.
I had a quick question if I can jump in.
Yeah.
Do you have a link to that species selection and planting protocol?
Great question.
Oh.
We do. Yeah, we have so the Somerville Urban Forestry Committee website is here. You search Somerville. I always search Somerville UFC and it comes up for like some sort of wrestling thing. I feel like UFC is like a wrestling terminology, and I'm always like, this is not what I'm looking for.
I kind of thought that too. So you're not the
Ultimate Fighting Club.
Oh, thank you. I was like, this is a whole nother world that I don't know anything
Fighting
about.
for the trees.
That was Vanessa.
Oh, there we go.
Vanessa
That's
did that.
amazing. That's awesome.
Oh, there we go.
Wait, Vanessa was a UFC fighter?
No, she coined she coined the UFC.
Coined the UFC.
You
Okay,
can
great.
use a lot of acronyms, so you just need to do it.
Yeah.
Be done.
So on our website, you can see we have our list of members and our associate members, and then contact info for Vanessa. We have information about our meetings, our sort of purpose and duties as they were set forth in the Tree Preservation Ordinance document that was passed in 2019. And then if you keep scrolling, we have all the memos we put out. So this gives you a sense of the things that we've sort of spoken out publicly about in the past. You know, when someone comes with a fiery topic, we usually rally behind it and put out a memo. Because as a group, we don't have any jurisdictional power, but we can sort of write memos and put them out into the world. So there's some interesting stuff here. And then if you make it all the way to the bottom, these are our flyers and handouts. And this one, native species for the Somerville landscape. You can see this is this is our list with a little bit of guidance, and then trees and small trees on the first page, and then shrubs and perennials on the second page, and then some vines, ephemerals, and grasses as well. And this is almost like a teaser document. So if you are interested and want more, you can also explore the Somerville Pollinator Action Plan, which is a like 300-page document that is truly amazing, and I would recommend it for anyone to read. Also, we have a physical copy in our outreach materials. So if a long PDF is too much, if you come to one of our events, you can sit with the real thing, and it's quite lovely to read through.
Did
So
you guys put this together, or like your urban forestry?
No, so this was actually, I'll let some Tori or Vanessa speak to the Pollinator Action Plan.
Cool.
Yeah, the Pollinator Action Plan, there was a committee that was formed, who advised, who met for, I want to say for about a year. There was a representative from the Urban Forestry Committee, which was Amy Myrtle. There were, I believe there was people from, Mystic River Watershed, Groundwork Somerville, and I don't know if Conservation Commission had a seat. So, and several other people who have, knowledge, worked together with the consultant. Well, first we chose a consultant, which took some time. We reviewed the different RFPs that came in and settled on this now I can't think. Offshoots. And we worked really hard on this document, and I want to say sort of the sparkly part of this document that really is like, you want to do a deep dive into plants and their interactions with different insects or different ecological nearby ecosystems that you can recreate, you go to the pollinator pantry and there are these cards and you can just flip through and it's like a how to design a garden. If you just have like 3 pots, what do you put in 3 pots? If you have a 5 by 10 space, if you have a small narrow strip, what do you plant? What do you plant in the different seasons? What do you plant if you want a certain color aesthetic? What do you plant if you want to attract this insect or, so it's really, it was really well done and easy to read and fun to read. And I believe Louisa had the idea that we should sell them.
I would
And
buy a copy.
and I mean, what a great like holiday gift for people. It's just, I think she was saying that we should sell them at Davis Square 2, D2. Because it's really well done, really well done. So, right, if you have just pots, what do you put in a pot?
That's cool.
Yeah, really cool.
So all that to say, I will drop in links for.
I already did. Well, I did.
Oh my
to
gosh,
the
thank you.
Summer Voice and just the document itself.
Yeah.
For the native species.
Yeah, so this list is like the most digestible, and this is what I'm always sending folks who ask me planting questions. I'm like, here you go.
Yeah,
Spend time with this for a while.
very
And then
comprehensive.
you can read the full plan as well, and that sort of analyzes all of Somerville and how to create a pollinator corridor and goes into a lot of detail about the implementation of this plan in the city.
That's so cool.
And if you want to watch every meeting that we had,
you can also do that.
Some light, fun viewing.
Cool. Thank you so much for all the information.
Yeah, great questions.
And
Okay.
Vanessa, if I skipped over anything.
I can vouch for the pantry cards. They're pretty cool, and I did use one to create a registered monarch butterfly way station habitat on my in the condo yard that that I maintain. So that was really a great and useful resource.
That's amazing.
And by the way, that's a really fun, cool, easy project to do if anybody does have opportunity for, I don't know, I guess you wouldn't need a ton of space, but if you're interested in creating a little habitat with a theme, you can get your sort of registered monarch way station, and it's pretty cheap to do so. Just a little bit of money to get the registration and the sign, and it's kind of fun.
Cool.
So I recommend it. It's called Monarch Watch is the name of the group. Yeah, right there. And the sign is really cool. Like the sign is awesome and colorful, as you can see.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, look.
Wow, now you're on the map.
Wow. That might be a SAP activity.
Yeah.
That's
great.
because there are a couple of other really cool. Yeah, that's a great idea. There's a couple of other really cool things you can do to sort of engage with and get signage or recognition from. So in addition to the Monarch way stations, Doug Tallamy has the home, what is it called? I forget what it's called, but it's a cool website you can interact with. And again, you can sort of register on there and use their tool and their resources and get a really cool sign for that. That's a cool idea. I think people, like when we meet somebody at a event or activity that's really into it, like that'd be a pretty awesome action item that we could give them to sort of go off and do on their own, with the opportunity to reach back to any one of us for a little more insight or resource. But that'd be neat. Have people create some of their own habitats, get them sort of officialized or registered, and then be able to share those stories. That'd be cool.
But he's also working on doing like a garden map, having people get signs for pollinator like, I have a pollinator garden signs. There's a limited number of signs out there, so it's in the works of planning stages, but more programs.
Yeah, great.
Great, thanks for sharing this.
Yeah.
I want to get one for the community garden that I'm a part of. Been planting a lot more pollinator plants. All right, so I think without further ado, if anyone has further questions or ideas, I think we can move to approve the minutes from June's meeting.
I had a quick question.
Yeah.
Vanessa, how do we get signs? Is there a way, like, did the city print any that we could buy, or and to reference, this is part of our pollinator action plan. We had signs made, and you can download them and I think take them to a sign maker and get a sign, but I just didn't know if we made any signs, and could that be like a cool prize, like to give out at a, at a tabling event, or in exchange for a donation. I don't know how that would.
Yeah, I wonder if we can sell them. They're pretty expensive. I don't know how much, but because they're circle signs, they're not as cheap as like a rectangle sign.
Okay.
So I don't know that we can do a giveaway at a tabling event. Also, they're going to be like, I forget, because Allison and Lisa are working on it, but like you have to prove that you have a pollinator garden of some sort. I'm sure yours would count. I think they printed some, but they haven't like figured out how to. They have a limited number, and they haven't figured out how to decide who gets one yet. But I'm sure you will hear more as they come up with a plan. But getting more printed and selling them could be good.
I mean, I just think,
do that.
like, I mean, again, this pollinator action plan, like if I got that, like, as a present, I would be over the moon. I got one, I mean, because I was a committee member, I got one, and it's bound and big and colorful, and anyway.
Maybe you could do a raffle of them or something. Get a couple
that would
printed
be
and do a
cool.
raffle.
Yeah.
That'd be a great way to get people to events.
Do the public libraries have those?
I think they're in now. Allison got a few in like a harder cover version, so that the spiral bound you can't tell what it is, but she got one with a cover. I think she put them in the libraries already.
That's awesome.
She's very thoughtful.
All right, so I was not at the last meeting, so if someone else wants to initiate the approval of the minutes.
Just a reminder, you don't have to have been at the meeting to approve them. It's just a written record. If you feel weird about it, you can say no or abstain, but just for the record, you don't have to have been there. I make a motion to approve the June 12th minutes.
Second.
Great, Michael seconds. All right, we'll take it to a roll call vote. So David.
Here.
Excellent. Joelle.
Yay.
Marion.
Yay.
Luca.
Yay.
Michael.
Yeah.
Tori.
Yay.
Vanessa.
Yay.
And myself. I'll say, do we have enough already?
We
Great.
do.
I'll abstain. Awesome. I will make a motion to adjourn. And it was great do we need a second for adjourning?
I'll second, just in
Vanessa will
case we do.
second.
Yeah.
So yeah, thanks everyone for joining us today. It was great to have some new faces, and we will see you all next month.
Sounds good.
Thanks,
Bye,
everyone.
everybody.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye,
Bye.
everybody.
Bye.